So I'm here with Matt York at the 2025 International Flower and Garden Show in Carlton Gardens. And we're standing in your recently completed show garden.
Yes.
Talk to me about this garden. Is this something you've done before?
Not this garden. We've had two other show gardens. This is our third show garden at MIFGS. And this year we've been doing some work in Africa, in Kenya, Nigeria and Ghana. And some of the learnings we've had there about really optimized small gardens have been really beneficial. And we've brought that knowledge back to the show on the basis that our client for this show garden is Melbourne at 8 million people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think about the population being 8. That's nuts.
It's hard to
Well, I remember Melbourne's population being 4 or 5.
Yeah. And I mean, as projected by 2051, we'll be a city of 8 million. So for me, I think the way that our landscapes work and the responsibility they carry to service 8 million people is a really important story. And that comes in how we cool our cities through landscape, as a pollinator, as a broader mosaic of habitat. Our gardens have got a lot of work to do to service that number of people, and our gardens are going to get smaller. So the quarter acre dream essentially is over, and we know that, and that's fine. We can still have really high performing landscapes on a smaller setting. And that's really the basis to this garden, is to show that you can still have all of these amenities in a smaller compact footing. So, yeah.
And what would you describe your job title as?
I'm a landscape architect.
Okay,
yes.
So you've designed the project?
Yes, I have.
And
yes.
you own the business that's built the project?
I work with Ratio. I'm director of landscape architecture.
Yep.
Yeah, so Ratio Consultants is the major partner on the project, and our team designed this. And then we also collaborated with another 18 partners, be it Kosh Living with the furniture, with all of the tree stock from Palm Life, Warner's, Karanga. I could name them all,
Matt,
but the list is there.
We talk to obviously a lot of the gardens, and there's never one conversation I have where afterwards they're like, "Oh, I forgot to mention." Yeah. But I think the reality is a lot of the commercial relationships that you have, this is more of a thank you for your business, and it shines a light on their product. So
Absolutely, yeah.
I think being left out is not always the end of the world.
No.
But you can obviously people can look that information up.
Yeah, it's all on the board and the QR code, all of our partners, and we also have those partners here at the show, and so yeah, it's great.
So I'm seeing things that I've never seen before.
Yes,
which is probably one of the beautiful things about doing this.
Yes.
Explain to me what this is.
This is the Bird Motel.
Okay.
So the idea with the Bird Motel was that, again, back to that notion of the city and the small garden as part of a broader habitat. We wanted to encourage birds to be able to come and perch and nest. There's a bird bath on top. And we also wanted something that's sculptural. So by night, this operates like a Chinese lantern. So it's quite sculptural in its form. It has a night roll.
And is this something you've custom built?
Yes.
So this is a bespoke piece that you've had made?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we designed this. We worked with Shapescaper, who fabricated it. And down the bottom, obviously, you've got the wood fire, the wood store for the hot tub, which is also wood.
See a wasp making a home in there. It's obviously doing what it needs to.
Yeah. I think there's plenty happening.
So is there lighting in it?
There is. There's a light LED strip that runs in the corner that's tucked.
Because it's funny. One of the best ways to do lighting is where I can't see the fitting, and I can't find it.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked.
Yes. So that's all. It runs as a small strip. On the corner on the fold.
And this is the kind of thing you'd sell after the job.
Absolutely. If people come along and that works for them, we obviously would look to sell that as well. Yeah. Yep.
Over here, there's what looks to be a meat. I don't know.
This is a grill. That we've just got. So
you said that you've spent some time in Africa.
Yes.
Is this one of the things that's kind of inspired from that?
Yeah, this is probably more aligned with barbecuing. Yep. So African barbecue is huge. And this one is more like the asado, the Argentinian asado. But grilling meat is a really key part of cuisine in Africa, and we wanted to showcase that you can have this type of fitting at this scale in the garden as well. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
I just want to use it and eat some. I haven't eaten today, so I'm kind of
I
like,
really wanted to use it as well.
it's been a no.
I'd love to get that going, but yeah, and again, obviously the complementary with the pallet, with the Corten, and
You're not
and
allowed to
whatnot.
have fires in here, are you?
No,
Yeah,
no,
we've heard about that before.
no, that's right.
Speaking of fire, is this wood?
This is wood fired.
Wood fired?
Yeah, the wood fired hot tub, and then so this is from Surefire Hot Tubs, and then you essentially wood is stacked in there. And then you've got the clean out at the base, and then you temper the temperature is controlled, much like any flue. Yeah. So it's
And how does it take long for this to get to temperature?
about an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So it heats up really quickly, and you can then control that temperature as you see fit. Yeah. It's a beautiful fitting. It's made in Tasmania, and it's used celery top pine is the timber. So yeah, it's a beautiful fitting.
This is going to throw you more. We're moving over this way. So this one here,
yes,
another.
So this is custom. This is a custom build, and again, the idea here was that there are times where you want a bird bath, a pond, or a fire pit. And again, being a small garden design, we didn't want to have 3 objects that you used once or twice a year. So the concept behind this is flexibility. So that's all lined, and then we've got the clay liner, but it can work as a grill, or it can also fill up as a bird bath. We've kept it under 300 for safety reasons. Those bricks are 290, so it just fits in and provides enough space for barbecuing as well. Cool. Yeah. So again, the color palette, we were looking at colors that reference the sort of Kenyan red soils, those really earthen colors. Handmade clay bricks came from Klaus Bricks in Stall. And likewise, the use of basalt, Kenya in part has a basalt geology like Melbourne. Mm-hmm. So we partnered with Rocks Plus here to get our basalt.
That is beautiful stone. I haven't really seen that used, here.
Yes.
So they're just sawn cut steppers.
They're sawn cut steppers. They're sawn to 170 mil height. So which
is the normal step.
Yeah, they're an immediate riser. The seat, this large feature basalt block rock we got there, we set that at 450, so it doubles as both seat and tray. So again, the idea is that any move you make, it probably needs to wear several hats in order
because of the
footprint.
What you're envisaging is going to be the new normal.
Exactly right. Yeah. So, our garden size, this garden's around 120 square meters. And the hope and intent is that people can come here and visualize this and abstract that into their own small gardens, or even a section of it. Yeah. So that's the hope.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So is this work that you're doing, I guess, is this symbolic of the kind of work that you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, a lot of our work is underpinned by a really strong sustainability not only message but direction. Yeah. We do a lot of work in urban cooling and water sensitive urban design. So much of this is a reflection of our approach to our designs. Absolutely. Yeah.
I've keep getting told not to ask this, but are you going to build a show garden again?
The answer is absolutely yes, because we got the silver gilt.
So you're like,
yeah, we were so close. So, and I'm sure that's well played as well, because I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
It is a huge process. So we'll take stock from this show. We're over the moon with this build. We and the plant stock that we got from Karanga was who provided all of our natives is just incredible.
It's very, I don't even know what the right term is, but appropriately dense. You kind of see, I think, and I know that we spoke to Rob before about something like 67% of the scoring is around the plant usage.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess it's important to find that appropriate density.
Absolutely. And you want to showcase, people come here to see an established garden. So the intent is to provide that as to the best we can, and ultimately with plants and selection that's flowering in its full capacity.
That's the challenge, right?
Absolutely.
Dry ice on the roots and get it flowering on the right day.
It's pretty. We had, and I think all show gardens do. You're at the mercy of the season and the summer, and we've had a really dry summer. So, we had a number of selections that we had to change, like
any
3 days before the show.
ridiculous things that you've had to overcome for the build, like obviously changing plants, but
Oh, look, I think the weight of the Queensland bottle trees
weren't prepared for.
That was we certainly catered for it, but what we have to do being a show garden is really look after the tree protection for the London Plains. So the weight of that meant that we actually had to build a timber subframe, which then actually had an influence on our levels. So that was a flow-on effect. And we're talking 40, 50 mil, but suddenly you've got a lip on a step and so that was one thing that we had to work with. People are looking at the garden and going, gee, it's really enclosing and feels nurturing and encased. And that was conscious. We wanted to create like a cocoon form where you sit. So there is a level of containment, but equally you want people to be able to see the garden on approach. And I think this site's great because you actually do get an elevated view into the garden. So there was a bit of balance there as well. And that's all just managing levels. So.
It is one of the tragedies, and I've said this in nearly every video, that the majority of people don't actually get to come in and be in the garden at a different viewpoint. And I know that it's probably something you focus on at the design stage, how it looks from down there, because it has to, right?
Yes.
Like the heights of these traditionally are lower than they would be.
Yes, that's right. Yep. And yeah, that's right. You want people to kind of transport themselves into this from around the edge. But even little things like one of the main viewing areas that we encourage is where we punch the basalt step through, which then the alignment of the grass trees is center of the 2 plane trees and framed by the 3 lemon-scented gums. So those kind of
Was that called borrowed landscape?
That's the borrowed landscape, exactly right. And this site does that well because you've got that backdrop. I mean, even the view through, we borrow a little bit of Brett's garden, which is lovely of you, Brett. So
thanks for that, Brett.
Thanks, mate. But absolutely, yeah, this site really does borrow from that avenue of London Plains.
It's really cool. I don't know that I could do it, so I hope you're proud of it. It's and I hope it brings. I don't know what you were hoping to achieve and what it was,
Yeah, look, it's interesting. I think the fact that you're invited to do a show garden is, we're incredibly grateful for that and humbled to be a part of this. So that's a big part of it. The industry's been really, really great to all of us, and we absolutely adore it. So I think there's a level of giving back to an industry that's been really kind.
I'm glad you said that. That's I talk about that a lot, and I think without that, in all forms of everything,
yes,
the world doesn't continue to have these nice things.
Absolutely. I mean, if you were to treat a show garden purely as a commercial transaction, I don't think it would stack, and I think your garden would show that. So I think a big part of this is really for the good of.
You can see the commercial transaction gardens as soon as you walk past them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's certainly not the case here, and yeah, it's lovely to be able to, containerize all that knowledge that you've gathered in our space in landscape and share that. You can see the interest by the numbers already. It's so
Cool. Thank you for allowing us to be part of it.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I hope you get some time to stand out there and listen.
You've got to make that time.
It's interesting. I've heard some horror stories of what gets said out there. It's just like, this is horrible, or this is amazing. But
I've it's funny, and you've just got to
stand there. Yeah. Well, it's the most honest feedback you're going to get. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, man.
Pleasure. Thank you.